Hello there, welcome to Eosacro. In this video, I'll be introducing you to the concept of blend modes and end the video by showing you how a few of them work. So here on the screen now, I have a simple network that we created in the previous video. Here we have a single merge node, which is merging a foreground element and a background element to produce this single output. We have already seen in a couple of previous videos that all image data is actually stored in channels, and channels actually have nothing but luminance information in the form of digits. So therefore images are nothing but a huge bunch of digits, a big data set which has only digits inside it. When you are trying to merge these big data sets which are nothing but numbers together, the only thing a computer or a software is doing is running some kind of a mathematical operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division behind the scenes in the back end to produce an output which you see as a new image. So therefore our merge node is nothing but a mathematical operator which is giving you some kind of results. So therefore if you understand what kind of an operation is running, or if you know what kind of result you are looking for, you can change the operation and therefore change the kind of results that you're getting over here. So therefore if I go to the merge node, you can see the first option I have in the merge tab itself is the operation I want to run. There are several operations which are available in NUKE by default. So if I just open up this drop down list, you can see these are all the different operations available. As you can see, you can easily recognize operations like plus or multiply, as I just said. Also, if you want to know what kind of an operation is actually being run in the background, you can hover your mouse over the drop down list, and there you'll be presented with a complete list of all the operations and also what exactly happens when two inputs are provided, or what kind of operation is being run by that name of the operator. So therefore this is the simplest way of changing operations over here which we have. I can just open up this list and change the operation, and immediately the result that I get is different. So that was the multiply operation which I just applied. Let me apply an operation of screen, and therefore you can see everything just became brighter. So each operation is nothing but a different mathematical algorithm which is being used to combine these images together. So now let's actually study one of the blend modes. I'll start with the blend mode multiply, and as the name suggests, the multiply blend mode does exactly what it says. It multiplies the inputs together. So I'm just hovering my mouse over the drop down, and you can see in the pop-up that multiply is telling A and B get multiplied together. So let's actually consider some things before we get into an example. If we have 0 and we multiply any number with 0, we always get back 0 itself. 0 into 100 gives you 0, and 0 into 1000 also gives you the same 0. So therefore 0 always results in a 0. Whereas let's say you have a 1. Anything you multiply by 1 gives you back the same number. So 1 into 100 is 100, and 1 into 1000 is still 1000. So that is established. Next, let's say you have a half or a 0.5, and you multiply anything by a half, you will always get a half of that number. And if you have a 2 instead, and you multiply anything with the number 2, you'll get the double of whatever number you had. So therefore multiply is going to do exactly that operation. So I have a few things set up over here on the side. I'll just show you what this is. So first I have a ramp here which goes from black to white, and then I have a color bars here which is set on the side, which is set at 0.5 intensity. Let me just make it complete 1 at intensity. Now these two are being merged together using a merge node which is set to a blend mode of multiply. I'll put that into my viewer, and immediately you can see what's happening. The black is only giving me black, whereas white is giving me the actual colors. Every time in an image, 0 always represents black and white always represents white. and all colors are in between those with different channels. So anytime I'm multiplying any color with white, which is nothing but a representation of the number 1, it'll always give me back the same color. So that's exactly what's happening at the bottom of this image. Whereas anytime I multiply any color with black, which is nothing but 0, I'll always get 0, which is again black. So therefore, anytime I'm multiplying something, I'll always get the black values which are eating in to the colors which are being fed in. So therefore, there's a simple ramp, and by multiplying it together, it just darkened the entire image. Now let's consider the scenario which I was talking about. If let's say I increase the value, instead of let's say white being 1, I increase the value beyond white. I go beyond white to more than 1. So for that, I'll just come back to the constant here and put in a value of 2. And you can see there is something which just changed. Pay attention to the readings here at the bottom for the colors. Here at the top, I have everything set to 0 because they are being multiplied, and as I come down, you can see that the value is increasing, and at a certain stage here the values goes to 1 exactly, right? And that is a point where the constant which is coming in has exact value of 1. Whereas if I keep coming down, you can see it's going beyond 1 now, and at the bottom it'll reach 2 and end, and it's reached almost 2 at the end. So therefore, always remember, anytime you're trying to multiply two different images together, what's actually happening is that the values, the color values themselves are being multiplied with each other. So therefore, black will always give you black, and white will always give you back the same color which you had before. So this is how the multiply blend mode works, and it's very important one to understand. And by default, it usually just darkens the image unless you're working with float point images where you have values which are greater than 1. And the multiply blend mode is usually used when you want to add in the diffuse shading on an object, or you want to add in some shadows, or anything which darkens an image. And therefore, because it darkens any kind of an image, it's usually the last operation you do in a stack. So this was a simple study of the multiply blend mode. We'll see something else next. Since I already told you about the mathematical operations, let me consider a different operation this time. We have seen multiplication. Let's see subtraction. So I'll go back to my merge node and I'll hover over to multiply, and as you can see, the only operation here which gives you a perfect subtraction is the minus, which is a simple a minus b operation. What I'm going to do is use the minus operation. I'll just change it from multiply to minus, and as you can see, it looks different. You can't really make it out here. So let's just see what the minus stands for. It's telling a minus b. So therefore, a is being subtracted off using the values of b. To make it simpler, I'm just going to interchange the inputs a and b here so that we are actually subtracting the black and white values from this ramp from the color bars. So I'll just shift them, and here I have these, and as you can see, there are different values or different possibilities if a and b inputs are changed. So make sure you even check that out if you're trying to get an exact look. So now let's just observe this result which we have here. So at the top, as you can see, we have the actual colors itself, whereas at the bottom we have black. What's happening is, here at the top, I'm telling that this color has to be subtracted by 0, whereas anything subtracted by 0 will give me the same color, right? So you can't subtract anything from 0, but because it will give you the same results. Whereas if I try subtracting something with a number which is greater than a particular value, like now all the colors here at the bottom were at a level of 1, so therefore as soon as a ramp reached a value of 1, it is gone. So therefore it's black here. And a very important thing to note, because in the constant I have set the color value to 2, here if I come back to my merge node, after it is being subtracted, the color bars, which is a value of 1, is being subtracted by the color by the ramp, which is of the value of -2. Now you can see that all the values are negative over here at the bottom. It's not just black, it's actually lower than black. And this is something which you have to always pay attention to when you're working inside Nuke. Because it is a float point system, things can go below 0 or above 1. So therefore things can be darker than black or brighter than white. It's not just like a simple JPEG image that you're used to editing inside Photoshop anymore. So therefore this is a simple minus operation. You're subtracting these values from the colors. So in the previous example where we were using multiply, you could see that black was giving you the same black result and white was giving you the colors, whereas when I put it to minus, white is basically subtracting all the colors, so white is turned to black and black is staying, giving you back the same colors. So this is one way of looking at it. So this is another operation. Let me just show you one last operation before I end this. I'll be showing you a simple operation called difference. This is almost similar to the minus operation. Only change here is that if the value goes beyond minus or below 0, it will take it back to above 1. So therefore it does not give you any values which are below 0, and therefore it gives you certain different results. And this is a very important operation that you can use to figure out a lot of things. I'll just give you a simple example of what I mean. I'll take a simple checkerboard, I'll duplicate that, and let me add a merge node on them. I'll put it into my viewer, and as you can see, you have a simple checkerboard right now. I'll change the operation to difference, and as you can see, the entire screen is black and there is nothing inside it. The dots which you can see are because of the PLE edition of Nuke. Now I'll go back to checkerboard 1 and change a few operations here. Like for example, let's say I change the size, and immediately you start to see some values here. What is happening is that both the checkerboards are being added on top, and if the colors match, it gives you black, and if the colors do not match, it's giving you whatever colors exist in the background. So therefore this is the easiest way of figuring out if two images perfectly are a perfect match. So if they are a perfect match, you get a complete black, or if they're not a perfect match, you get the variations in color. So therefore it's a very beautiful or a very good technique to use. This is usually used to extract grain and to also produce a certain mattes. So this was some basic operations that I wanted to show you in this video. I'll be creating other videos where I'll be talking much more in depth about blend modes, but not just restricted to Nuke, but for any graphical package. Just have a couple of key points to remember before I leave this. Blend modes are what you use when you're trying to blend or mix two or more images together in any package. It does not have to be just Nuke. You can use the same things inside Photoshop or GIMP, Illustrator, or any graphics program that you use. You're just trying to merge two or more images together whenever you're trying to do this. And pretty much that's it for this video. Go through all the blend modes that you can get over here in their operations. That's it for this video. If you are not sure about what exactly that blend mode stands for, the Nuke documentation, the PDF which you get off from the Foundry's website, has some amazing information about what exactly each one of them does with examples. You can definitely go through all of that, and also you have Google to search for any of those. So that's it for this video, guys. I really hope you found this video useful. Thank you for watching.